Next, we have Manny Gonzalez.
Manny again, man. Every guest is like I think it started with him. He just started like I worked with him. I met him in the 10th district, and he just like the first thing he said, he goes, "I know you from somewhere. By any chance you live up north?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Do you know Ivan Ramos?" I go, "Yeah, it's my cousin." You know, he's like, "Oh, I lived across the street from him. I know. I thought I saw you a few times there." And then he goes, "Oh, Manny Guzman." Man, he goes, "Hey, do you have a brother named Danny?" And then small world, you know, he went to grammar school with your Danny, and uh, and then I met, and you're probably gonna mention him soon. A guest, who's I think his story for me it touched me the most because I knew the whole story prior to bringing him as a guest. Ruben Del Valle, me and Ruben were talking, and I planted the seed about that I was planning to do a podcast. And then the more we were talking about, it, he goes, "Man, everybody keeps getting confused with my friend Manny Gonzalez that I went to high school with." Mm-hmm. And I go, oh, that's cool. I go, and I'm like, "Oh, Manny Gonzalez." He goes, "Yeah, he used to work in town." I go, he goes, "Yeah, we were in high school together, and then we reunited in the Marine Corps." And I go, "Man, you see, again, that's a cool story to tell." And I'm like, "Oh, so what high school you went to?" He goes, "Sure." So I go, "Get the fuck out. I went to Sure." So to me, just that and Manny and the fact that his story tells a lot about losing a brother, and we, you could relate. I could relate that I lost a son. So to me, that I hope we got to bring that out.
Yeah. All right. Next, we have Danny Feliciano.
Danny's my old teammate. 14 district tag team and gangs. Phenomenal person. I think I learned from him. I learned from him a lot. And knowing that being in the Marine Corps, and all that means a lot. He always showed that pride in it. So I knew that I wanted to have him as a guest and for him to tell his story. All
right, next we have Fast Frez.
Oh, that's and I don't want to say like that's my boy from the hood. That's my locker partner. I got a lot of stories, especially when I first became a cop. That and I'll say the story that my old teammate Ronnie Rodriguez, he knew he was a pro boxer, and his dad used to coach, and he's like, "Oh man, you like boxing, right?" So we were going to our old sergeant Marvin Bonstetter used to take us every Christmas to this Eddie Yoshimura, who was the owner of CFC gym. He used to do Shidokan. So Shidokan was like Thai boxing, Taekwondo, or Kung Fu kickboxing, and then mixed martial arts at the end. So you do one round of each, and then at the end it's all on a horse bar. So he used to take us to go see the fights at the end of the year. And this guy goes, "Hey man, my friend Freso Kendo is gonna be there. I'll introduce you." And I go, "Oh, you know him?" He goes, "Yeah, it's my boy." I go, "Oh, he's your boy? Okay, cool." And but he didn't know that me and Fred, that was my partner. And he says that, and I tell the story that I might have got jumped at. I was gonna get killed at Church High School by the Lion Kings because they thought that I was, in the rival gang, but I didn't gang bang, I just, you cannot live in Chicago and have family or friends that are associated. And to me, I walked home with your godfather, and they thought that he was a maniac and that he was hardcore. And he told me, he goes, "Man, I think they're gonna jump me." And I go, "Well, I'll go out with you." And then when they were all gonna come, of course, near us, one of the cousins, Paulie, happened to be driving by, and he comes out and he tells him, "Hey man, don't mess. You got Fres." He goes, "Hey Fres, make sure you take care of my cousin. Nobody jumps him," because they looked up at Fres from the later homes, the projects. They make sure they protect the Fres because Fres was doing Golden Gloves, and he was in the Park District Boxing, so Hamlin Park. So man, me and Fres, every time we run into each other, we don't lose a beat. The conversation goes, and I support everything he does with football. With the Fresno Kendall Boxing Organization Association, and I think he always likes to give back to the community. And why not have him here to so he could tell his story?